Today's generation of modern NATO straps have betrayed their rugged military heritage. At least that seems to be the opinion of Ben over at Mora Watch Straps, and after taking a look at the straps he sent me, I think he's got a good point. The original NATO strap specifications were designed primarily to eliminate the single point of failure that you find on typical two-piece watch straps. On a typical watch strap, if your watch gets caught on something and a spring bar fails, the watch will simply fall off your wrist and probably break. But a NATO strap, because it has a single piece of nylon going underneath both spring bars, if a spring bar fails in that system, then the other spring bar will still be attached, you'll still have a solid loop around your wrist, and the watch will be prevented from taking damage. It'll just kind of be flopping around on there. The problem is that a lot of modern NATO straps still employ a single spring bar at the buckle, and if that spring bar fails, you have the exact same problem that you would have with a two-piece strap. Other cheaply made straps might not have a spring bar there, but they might just have a piece of folded metal that's prone to bending and breaking that will result in the same problem. So what Mora watch straps have done is they've created a premium NATO that has a solid piece of hardware there. So it's a solid piece of metal at the buckle and at all of the keepers that is much more secure than what you typically see in most modern NATO watch straps. And I think what's so cool about these watch straps is I think they really fit the original specifications and the original purpose of a NATO strap, and yet they take a lot of modern upgrades that make it into something a little bit more premium, a little bit more comfortable and wearable and nicer looking. And altogether, you have a good case for what might be the perfect NATO watch strap. Okay, so Mora currently offers 4 different colored straps. You can also get them in different finishings. You can get either brushed or polished finishing, and they come in either 20 or 22 millimeter sizes. So they were kind enough to send me in one of each color so we can take a look at them. I've got some watches here as usual. We'll try them on in a minute, but let's go ahead and start by just taking a look at the straps themselves. So as noted, the main selling point is the hardware that they use in here. So this is just, as you can see, it's just a solid piece of metal. So there's no point where this can fail. There's basically no way this is ever going to break off. If anything, the nylon will rip first, which is highly unlikely. It's an extremely sturdy strap. You're also getting the same kind of hardware where the same thing with the hardware where this is a solid piece of metal. So really good there. You're also getting very sturdy stitching on all of these. So all in all, just a really well put together product. Another thing that he's done is upgrade the material. So rather than getting your kind of standard nylon, this is a much more premium feel. It's very soft, very supple, extremely comfortable, just a really great feel to it on the wrist. And it also looks great. It's got this nice sheen to it. So it definitely looks like a more premium strap. It just looks a lot nicer than your standard NATOs. It's similar to what a lot of other brands would term a seatbelt style NATO, but it's a different weave. It's thinner. It's not like super thick. But it does have that kind of smooth sheen to it. A lot of times with NATOs, there's little quirks and things I don't like about them. And pretty much every complaint that I've had, they've basically addressed in this. So let's walk through what some of those are. The first one is the length of this thing. The length is really long, and I have a 7.5-inch wrist. So for a lot of NATOs, when I wear it, I barely get enough material to kind of tuck in, but this one gives you a lot of extra. Let's go ahead and put this on one of these watches so you can kind of see how that looks. So as you can see, there is a ton of strap left there, which is great. This is like how a NATO is supposed to wear. This gives you the extra length to put it on over a jacket or over any sort of equipment that you're wearing. If you want to put on the outside of a wetsuit or on the outside of a snow jacket or whatever, it gives you the option to do that. And that's what the whole point of these keepers are, is to take care of this extra material here. A lot of NATOs that I use, I've got like barely any hanging out, and it kind of just looks a little bit weird there. But this is, again, how it's kind of supposed to look. And another nice touch is that this is a floating keeper, the second one. So you can adjust that to get a good fit there. And get it in there. And you can get all of that, get that tucked away really nice. So I really like that about this, about these guys, that they have that length that it's supposed to have. Another thing that's kind of cool is that this section of the NATO between these two keepers where the watch resides is very large. So this will allow you to accommodate a lot of watch sizes. So even a really large watch will fit in here. I've had sometimes, with larger watches, a difficulty fitting them onto some NATOs because there's just not enough space in this little section here. and especially if it's like a thick watch, you know, it takes up a little bit of extra space. This gives you plenty of room in there, which is great. So this will accommodate almost any size watch. The other nice thing about that is that it gives you a lot of flexibility about where you want to place the watch, which will affect where this little bunch, you know, where the little fold is here. So right now, as you can see on the Bulova Moon watch, I have it kind of close to the watch head, but you can adjust that if you don't like the look of that kind of bunch of extra strap there. What you can do, and I oftentimes do, is you can take this and slide it down on the strap a little bit more. So if you slide it almost down, maybe even to the point where, okay. So a lot of times I'll put it on like this. So it's actually a little bit too far down. So this keeper is creating a little bit of a gap there. But once you get it on wrist, it'll slide down and it'll look like this. So now I've got it so that the watch is at the very bottom of this section. So it's got the bottom keeper is right close to the top of the watch. And then you can see the fold and the extra strap gets moved almost completely underneath my wrist. So it gives you a little bit different look. So yeah, so you get a lot of flexibility there. If you can kind of position this extra strap at different parts on your wrist because this section is so big. And that's something that I haven't seen on a lot of other NATO straps. So I really appreciate that design aspect of it as well. And just overall, you can see how nice the strap looks. Like I really think that it looks great on the Bulova Moon watch. I think it's just a really premium look for it. And the Moon watch here, the Lunar Pilot, I think is really does well with NATO's because it has that sort of NASA heritage in it. So that kind of a little bit of a military strap like look really looks great. And so something like this, I think is just a great pairing. I really like the kind of Bond NATO, the black and gray. I think goes well with the Bulova Moon watch here. All right, let's go ahead and fit the other straps onto these watches and we'll see how they look. Okay, so we have the Bulova Lunar Pilot, Timex Weekender, Spinnaker Fleuss, and a new watch that I'm going to be reviewing soon, so a quick sneak peek of that, but this is the Lilienthal Berlin Zeitgeist. So I've already looked at the Lunar Pilot, but we'll take a quick look at the Weekender. Timex Weekender always looks great on a NATO strap. I really like this gray color. This is, I've had a gray strap before on a cheaper nylon. I really like it on this kind of higher quality nylon with a little bit more of a sheen to it. I think it has a really nice premium look that goes well with a lot of watches. And I think it looks great on the Timex Weekender. Let's get it on wrist. There you can see it on my 7.5 inch wrist. Quick wrist roll. There you go, Timex Weekender. All right, so next up we have the classic Bond NATO with the red, green, and black color scheme. And this one has the polished hardware, so you can kind of see the difference there. Yeah, and I think it looks pretty good on the Fleuss. You got a little bit of the red on the dial there that kind of matches the strap, gives it sort of that vintage look. You can get a little bit of a closer up look at the weave there. And there you are on wrist. So you got a really great looking strap. I love the colors on this. There it is with the Spinnaker Fleuss. Okay, and finally we have the Lilienthal Berlin Zeitgeist. This is a Swiss-powered automatic watch. It's got a Solid SW200 in it, kind of a Bauhaus-inspired minimalist design and a little bit on the dressy side. And so it's one of those cases where I think you can get away with putting a NATO strap on a dress watch if you're into that sort of thing. Here I think it works pretty good, especially with something a little bit more premium like this. I think it fits pretty well. Yeah, so nice and simple. I think a black NATO strap is one of the most useful straps to have. It really goes well with a lot of watches. And again, having a little bit of a premium one with this sort of premium material, I think looks really great because a lot of times black can be kind of boring and simple, but having a little bit of a shimmer to it like this and just the overall quality of it, I think really is a nice look. I'm almost done shooting the footage for this watch. The review for the Lilienthal Berlin should be coming out in the next week or two, so keep an eye out for that as well. Okay, so there you have it, the premium NATO from Mora watch straps. And I think you can be hard-pressed to find a better NATO watch strap. I mean, this is like, everything that you could hope for from a NATO strap, from like a classic NATO strap. If you want the original NATO strap, but better. This is an incredible option, and right now they're at a pretty affordable price. So I think typically they're $32, but he's got them on sale for half off. So they're $16 each right now, which is a great deal for what you're getting and for everything that's packed in here. So definitely recommend you guys go head over to their shop and check it out. Again, these are the 4 colors that they have. All of them I think are great options, but pick one that will match your watch, and maybe if you want to get a couple of them, now is a good time, because I think for 16 bucks you can't really go wrong with that. So definitely big thanks to Ben from Mora Watch Straps for sending these out. Really enjoyed my time with them, and I hope you guys got a good look, and gives you some good information on whether or not this is the kind of thing you're interested in purchasing. As always, love to hear your comments. I'll be happy to answer any questions about the straps that I can. And yeah, until then, we'll see you guys next time. And yeah, we'll talk to you later. Bye.